You probably wouldn't believe me if I told you that there's people selling hundreds of thousands of dollars online and still losing money in their business. And today I'm going to be telling you guys exactly why they're losing money and just some of the things that you might not think about on why they're actually losing money. So really, first things first is they just don't know their numbers. So the main thing is, if you don't know your numbers, you have no idea if you're making a profit or not, right? I see people and their main problem, they always talk about, I need to find new product, more product. It's like there's so many different things that goes into running, say, an online e-commerce business, or really any business. And the main, I feel like the lifeblood of it is a profit and loss statement. So looking at every single line of all your expenses and all of your income, and then seeing, at the end of the day, is there still money there, right? Because, like, what are we trying to do here? Like, if you're spending all your time trying to run a business and you don't know if it's profitable or not, like, that's a terrible use of time, in my opinion. There's so many other things you could be doing than running an unprofitable business, right? But I'm just going to go over some of the common things that I see, and I'm really just making this video to help you guys out, because, I really wish somebody told me this a while ago. For me, I don't know what it is, like, since day one, I've tried to track my expenses for my businesses, but I know a lot of people, they don't do that right off the bat. So I just thought I'd make this video for you guys, because I know some people aren't tracking their expenses properly. So I'll just go into, like, how I track my expenses, and then different, like, leakage things that are in your business. So basically ways that you might be losing money that, like, you don't even know about, right? So and a lot of the things that I'm talking about here, to, like, give you guys some perspective, like, I've sold over $3.5 million online, and that has really helped me learn a lot of these different things that I'm telling you guys about. I am some random dude on the internet, but I've sold, a pretty decent amount online on various platforms. Right now, I'm more of a multi-platform seller. I've noticed a lot of people, they'll, put their eggs all in one platform. That's also one other, big problem that people have, is they'll put all of their eggs in one basket. And it's like, man, like, at the end of the day, are you making money or are you not? Are you looking at your profit and loss statement and seeing, is this specific business, like, putting money into my bank account or taking money out? So we'll go into the all the intricacies, but the main thing is the profit and loss statement, seeing all of your income and expenses. But you might be going like, okay, well, Cody, like, how do I track that, right? So there's different ways to track it. I would say you could do it the old school basic way, where you look at your bank statements and then you have a Google sheet, which is free, right? If you have Google, it's free, and you can put in your income and expenses through the templates, right? So there's that way to do it. I use various different softwares for the different platforms I sell on, but at its core level, it's literally bank statements and then Google Sheets. If you want to use QuickBooks is really good too, but you have to pay for that. And, like, I want to help you guys out that have no money, right? Because I started this crap with, like, no money. So Google Sheets, bank statements is, like, the easiest way to do it. And then you just look at, like, money in, money out, right? In your bank, like, money in, money out. What went out, what went in. And I'm gonna tell you guys, like, as a test to this, like, look at your bank statements every single week and see if there's an expense that you were like, oh, because one thing that eats at, like, your basically your monthly profit, is if you're signed up for all these different subscription services and you don't even know you're signed up. That's just taking money away from you, and you're probably not even using a lot of those services. So I would say, as like a self audit, like, just look at your bank statement and just see, like, where is the money coming in and coming out, really just at its core level. Some other things that I'll talk about for, like, e-com sellers is, like, when you buy a product and it gets shipped to, say, your prep center or your warehouse or wherever it's going, it could get lost there, right? It could also, the product that you're buying could get lost when you ship it to the customer. So those 2 points, a lot of people don't track, but there's a lot of money that gets wasted in there. Also, just like in returns and refunds, I don't really see anybody talking about this online, probably because it's the glamorous part. But, like, returns, a lot of people don't know the true cost of returns when they get a return in their business. And I've seen a lot of sellers where they think they're making money, but they're not, because the returns eat into their profit a lot. So that's also one other portion that I've seen too. The too many monthly softwares. So like if you're paying for all these different softwares and you don't use any of them, that really eats at the amount of money you're making. Really, at the end of the day, it's the profit and loss statement. So really just looking at where the income's coming at and the expenses, and then dialing in those expenses. Is this absolutely necessary? And like some things, like I remember in high school, the boys wanted Spotify Premium, like just something random out there. Sorry, Spotify, but like we tried to gamify it so everybody was paying $2 a month for Spotify, and then we had like 6 people on like the same account. So there's different things. I know people do that with Netflix accounts, but like they crack down on that. But there's different ways like people do to just lower that expense. Like maybe you're paying $50 a month for something that you could be sharing with somebody and then paying $25 a month each, right? So there's all these different ways. There's one good statement I like where it's like, anything's cheap if you split it 8 ways, and that's so true. And honestly, a lot of the times it's a bit more fun to split, certain things. Like say you go on a trip, if you have a whole bunch of friends that you can split the cost of the trip with, it's probably still going to be a really great trip. And you guys all get to go and have that memory and not have to pay like the insane amount of cost to just go by yourself or go with like one other person. So there's different ways, right, to lower that expense. And the other side of it is the income, right? One person that I watch a lot is Dave Ramsey. I think his content is amazing for just like the basic like finances, right? But as far as income goes, I think a lot of people focus way too much on the expense side. That's at least how I was. I was focusing way too much on the expense side, and I wasn't focusing enough effort into the income side. But a lot of the times it's just way easier to make more money than cut the expenses. But if you can cut the expenses, that helps out a lot. But really, like honestly, like it's the same thing as whether the business expenses and personal expenses. Like for me, I have a business profit and loss statement, and then I basically have like a personal like sheet, right? But like all of that is like one and the same. I see people, they have no idea if they're making money or not, and that seems ridiculous to me. Like knowing your numbers is the most important part if you're running this. Like are you running it for fun? Like I guess if you're a hobby seller, maybe you don't care too much, right? Maybe if you make money, whatever. If you lose money, whatever. But I think a lot of us are trying to do it as a hobby. We're trying to like actually, take home profit at the end of the day, and pay ourselves, because that's the whole point. Like I know I've kind of jumped around a lot, but really at the end of the day, the whole point is to pay yourself out of this, because like you're spending all this time, like you got to get something out of it. Like imagine, and maybe this will take the point home to like get you guys to really focus on profit and loss statements. And if you guys aren't already doing it, you know, it's okay. Like it's all right. Like not everybody starts out just knowing how to do accounting and profit and loss and everything like that. But it's so important. Like imagine going to a job and then working 40 hours a week and then not getting paid. That's essentially what you're doing if you don't know your numbers in your business. That's really from what I've seen. Like, and I see sellers do it all the time. They go, oh, well, I made 40K. That's what it says on, whatever software they're using, Seller Board, Inventory Lab, whatever it is. If you guys don't know that, that's okay. Like, or whatever software they use, right? And then they think they're making a profit, but they're not, because they're not factoring in expenses, cost of boxes, cost of software, cost of like a membership site, costs of like whatever it is, right? Tape, bags, really like everything, like everything all in one. And then like, yeah, like cost of like even just paying, like a overseas contractor, like a virtual assistant, like whatever you'd like to say. Like you have to factor in all these different expenses, and then at the end of the day see if you're profitable. So that's overall just the point that I wanted to come home. I see so many people where they run their business, they're not making any money. They won't say that publicly, I honestly don't have a problem telling people like, hey, like what my downfalls or whatever is. I really just don't. Like, and I wasn't the first 6 months of when I sold on Amazon specifically, I wasn't profitable. I lost money, but then I stuck through it, and then month 12, I had my first 10K profit month. So that's just how, like, that's how this works, right? Like, you might not know, and the main, like, one of the main factors there was I got a mentor, and I had somebody, really just help me out with the nuances of it, because I didn't know I was doing bad until I really dived into it. I had the statement, so I knew I was losing money, so I knew something wasn't doing well. But then I actually pushed through and, started making pretty decent money. But like the profit and loss statement, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know if I was gonna be good to if I didn't even know I was bad, right? I see people, they don't even know they're bad at whatever it is. And like they don't know because they don't look at the profit and loss statement. So that's a huge part. That's a huge part. And that's like the main thing that I'm really trying to tell you guys is profit and loss statement. Number one, like whatever business you do, maybe you don't even sell online, profit and loss statement, like key. That's the major key, is the profit and loss statement. Everything else, it matters, but at the end of the day, is money coming into your bank account or not coming into your bank account? Like, it's binary. Is it going in or is it not, right? And I'm just some dude on the internet that's been selling stuff online for over 5 years now, and it's just like, I just see people, they're just wasting their time. Like, your time is valuable. Your time is so valuable. It's like they're wasting so much time, and they don't even know they're wasting time. That's the worst part. But hopefully this helps at least one person out there. If you guys like videos like this, definitely let me know. I know I haven't posted in a hot minute, but it is what it is. The channel's just been like, I don't know. There's If you're a person that actually sells, because there's the content people, right? There's people that make all this content, and there's people that like actually sell. A lot of people that actually sell, they don't make content, because like, why would they? And I'm kind of in this, like, I'm in the, like, I actually love selling boat. But for whatever reason, like, I want to help out people, so that's why these videos are there. But yeah, I really don't have too much to, like, I'm not telling you guys stuff. So, have a good one. Hopefully this helps. Bye bye.